Hello. Hi. Welcome. Hope you're all doing well. This is Explore the Beyond, the grip of the Fungal Queen. Don't know what I'm doing with my browser. There we go. Yeah, hope you're all doing well. I am Meglo. This is Explore the Beyond. Good evening, everyone. Today, we're playing Dungeons & Dragons, as you may well have guessed. Yeah, sorry about last week. Technical issues with one of the players. Couldn't make it. It's all Gucci. Today, we play... and as such, we continue. You may remember, we're outside this cave. And the players nearly died last session, so let's see if we can replicate that today.
Yeah, my D drive's a bit shit, so everything still goes on the C drive.
Yeah, it would be a good game to have in a solid state, I guess.
I agree. Solid state is the way.
Might have to copy mine over.
I still don't have enough space on my local, on my solid. Wait, no I don't, I'm lying.
Probably.
Meglo, she's already bought it. Done. Easy.
Yeah, I've bought it.
Good. Good.
I did say it wouldn't take much persuading. I just need to uninstall a few games.
You'll be fine.
I need other games now.
True. True. Baldur's Gate is the way. Right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're here to play D&D.
Yes.
Who is it that's going to quickly recap last week's session? Josh, you did it for me, so you can do it for the group.
Well, it was me anyway, but I'm happy to.
You volunteered and volunteered.
Last week. Yes. Last week we started pretty much being ambushed, stuck behind a log and a bunch of fungus creatures. We managed to sneak around the log and travel. Pretty much the majority of last stream, we just travel. We set up for camp after traveling, and we just are being watched by all the fungus creatures that are followed us. But we still carry on, we proceed, and we just travel some more, ignoring their existence, until Malachi appears and puts us in fog. And as soon as he does that, we get attacked by all the fungus creatures that were still following us. It's a pretty fun battle. We then somehow make it out. And I've got his name down here somewhere, the Dragonborn. I did write it down.
Nismo.
Nismo, there we go. Thank you. He comes, helps us out a little bit. I'm pretty sure he cures Tulip a little bit. And then he pretty much convinces us as a collective to take up and go to Malik's hideout rather than going to the Great Tree, which was our first objective. And we pretty much just spend the end of the stream following him to the hideout, which is covered in fungus from head to toe, and we gotta get past these weird vines / veil thing that seems to alert him if anything touches them. And that's where we are.
Right. Nice, thank you. Indeed. You find yourselves... basically, you hid up against the... kind of like Frodo and Sam at the Gates of Mordor, where they were hidden on the hill. You rolled really well for stealth, I believe. And as such, you were almost like... You blended in so well that it was almost impossible for you to be seen. Malakir came out of the cave with its kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I had it and it's gone. Sort of mucusy, sort of semi-flesh-like, almost flesh-like film over the cave entrance. A fly bumped into it and he popped his head out, came out, and then seemed to transform through potentially a polymorph or maybe something different into a small animal, and you lost sight of him pretty quickly in and amongst the fungal growths that are on the floor. And that's where we pick up today.
Right, so did he put his head through this mucus layer and did it break or?
It seemed to kind of almost like jelly. It kind of he sort of slurped out and it remolded itself.
Right, so it hasn't gone then.
Doesn't seem to have, no.
But it seemed to have set an alarm. But would they think it's the flies again if we went in? If we can get in.
could. How about we throw a rock at it and see if it sets it off again?
Because the flies got stuck, remember? They didn't go straight through.
Yeah. Could ask Nismo what that thing is, I guess.
What? Say that again?
Probably to ask, well, Nismo, that stuff in the doorway, can we get through it?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were all magical and you might know it. Is it magic? Must be magic. Oh, doesn't know.
Doesn't appear to be magical.
Right.
But this is also magic that I don't really understand.
Maybe we could just try to like run right at it and maybe we could just go right through. And they might think it's still the flies stuck in there or something. Maybe.
It's possible. It is possible.
I also want to turn back round to the plan of maybe breaking the cave down and getting them stuck. But I don't know if that's going to work. We said last 5 minutes ago, didn't we?
It's possible, but like I said, it's also possible that there are other exits elsewhere that we don't know about.
What do you guys think? Should we just go for it?
I think we should test it first to see if everything gets stuck or if, like, bigger things than flies can pass through. Rather than just running straight into it.
Okay.
Are you able to launch some kind of spell at it and see if it penetrates through?
Does out of character here, does magic work that way? Like,
Do you have like
'cause to
basically the question is like, do you have like a projectile spell?
I do.
So if
and I
you
do have it prepared.
So if you just fire, like, basically the question is if you fire, for example, like a firebolt at it, would it penetrate
Yeah,
through?
yeah. Would it go through?
Yeah. Not like fling a guidance at it or a Toll the Dead and see what happens.
Yeah. I'll throw a guiding bolt at it.
Okay. You fling a guiding
Why
bolt,
not?
and as it impacts with the mucus, it tears apart and just sort of flails around, and then immediately just starts to bind back together. As the guiding bolt flies down the tunnel, you can catch a glimpse quite clearly of more of the same, basically, but much more colourful. There seems to be a lot of, instead of just base sort of normal fungal colours, there's a lot more. There's a lot more sort of variety in color, a lot brighter colors, more vibrant, especially.
Lovely. I mean, they're definitely going to know that that was not flies.
Should we wait and see if anyone comes back out again?
Yeah, that's probably best.
I say if we should next try a decent sized rock. See if something non-magical can go through it.
So does it make
We
a
might be
hole
pushing
then
our
it
luck.
regrew? Sorry.
Yeah, basically. Um,
Okay. we
so
could-
it just plowed through with seemingly little resistance.
So we could probably use our torch on it as then, if it's the same kind of fungus as what's on the floor.
Wow, yeah, it just seems like we can just go through it like a door then more than anything else. Than an actual... I mean, it could hurt us maybe if we got through it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather not get it on
Yes.
us.
Whether or not it's gonna alert Malachi that we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did anyone come back out that time?
You didn't see anything. But also, you did lose track of Malakir when he transformed into the small animal.
Or it could be anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he is the fungus that's over the door.
Burn it all.
Well, I guess, try to chop a hole for us, and it'll just hopefully temporarily have a doorway and we just go through. Just if we all just like to keep slashing a bit, I don't know.
Has anyone got any good sword or weapon that can easily cut?
Why don't you throw on your little needles at it?
I don't think you can fit through the hole, Tulip.
I've got this axe, so I should be okay. Got a big great axe.
I've got a sickle, and I've still got 8 torches if you wanted to share them out between you guys as well.
Oh, did I give up? I don't know how many torches I used. There was a lot.
I'll take one torch if you don't mind.
Yeah, totally.
I was going to say, I think both you and Grant are running low on torches now.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
completely out.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I took over and I had like 8 left, and we did like, I don't know, 6 hours? I don't know, maybe?
Something like that.
So I probably got
I
like...
got 5 hours written down.
one.
So,
Oh, 5 hours. Okay,
Oh.
so I've got 2 left then.
I was going to say, I'll give them both 2 torches.
Oh,
Oh,
4
okay.
left. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Okay.
Well, let's only use 1 then. So what's this? We're trying to, put the fire right in it and to see if it opens a gap, and then
yeah,
hope for the best, and just wander
if
in.
not, we slice away in.
Yeah, I guess we probably just tell Nismo the plan, and then if he seems to be like, yeah, we'll go for it, then that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, he's listening. He's nodding along. He's not exactly, adding to the conversation, but you do get the impression that it's more of a not adding anything because there's nothing. He has nothing to add, more than just being generally ignorant. You
know what? What's the ground like here?
You get the impression that underneath the fungus, it's actually kind of either hard, really tough, compacted dirt or full-on stone.
Okay, never mind then. We're not digging underneath it.
I was going to say, what's the plan here?
Adamantine floor. Okay.
Basically.
Okay, well, I guess we still stealth our way to the front. Although there was a guiding bolt that flew out the bushes. So we're probably not super stealth.
Yeah, God knows
Yeah.
what that's actually hit on the inside.
Set the powder kegs on fire.
Nismo goes right up to the door and he just kind of keeps a safe-ish distance, maybe a foot away from it. Tries to give it a good looking over, but he just seems unsure. Like, you can see on his face, despite having fairly draconic features and being unfamiliar to you, you can see that there's definitely uncertainty. Doesn't seem to be able to make up his mind about what he's actually looking at. Excuse me. This is so different. I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing.
Does it look like it might hurt us if we touch it, like the fungus?
I suppose there's only one way to find out. He kind of just pokes his finger at the layer and recoils immediately. Like, it's basically just a boop. But it kind of just goes bloop, 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 a bit like jelly. Just flubbers a little bit, and Nismo kind of looks down at his finger. No immediate reaction, gives it a scratch, nothing. And then he pokes harder and immediately just, like, instantaneously just goes straight through, tears, hooks his finger and just rips it down. And it's almost like tissue paper that just apart. And kneels down from, like, he's very tall. He's probably the tallest in the group by a couple of inches. Bends down and just steps through. But as he lets go, it literally immediately just starts healing up behind him.
Okay, if he's gone through, I'll go through and keep tearing it as I go to make sure it stays open.
Okay. It's cold. Like, actually cold, which is kind of unsettling, but also it does give you a bit of, it's almost like a static shock kind of feeling as you pull and tear at it. But other than that, nothing else.
I'll follow through as well. I'll go through.
Same thing for you. It tingles and it's cold, but other than that, nothing else.
And then, yeah, I'll head through once everyone else is in.
Cool.
Then I run away.
Cool. Let's change maps. Okay. The first thing that hits you is the smell in here is basically what you've been smelling for the last few days, but exacerbated and just not exacerbated, like just worse, 10 times worse if nothing else. Literally straight up your nose, and you can taste it. The second thing is you can hear running water. And then as soon as your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can see that there is a river that's flowing. I will draw on it just so that you can see in this direction with my fantastic drawing of arrow skills. So the river's flowing in that direction. And the river looks, from where you are anyway, looks pretty clean. But you can also see that there are spores dropping into it and being just washed away. The walls and floor and ceiling, kind of like you've come to expect, is just coated in mold and fungus. The torch technique's basically the only thing that's keeping you going. Well,
I've already lit one, so I could probably take the lead anyway.
this is horrible. steps forwards. This section here where the roots are is basically about 3 feet off the ground. The fungus seems to have just like expanded out of the walls and met in the middle, and it's just the same expanding roots that you've seen previously when it's been expanding outwards, and they seem to have for some reason come out of the wall and just joined together and intertwined, and now you can't see where the roots begin and end. They're just intermingled, but they just seem to have created this small platform. So Nismo has to basically get down on his hands and knees to get underneath.
In the fungus.
It's you know, he takes the torch, but he takes the torch from Tulip.
I'll get through before it grows back.
Yeah.
Do we manage to get through before it grows back, or are we not as
I'll
lucky?
swing it underneath there if you want.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yes.
like, the three of you managed to get through just in time. It seems to be growing back slower than you're used to. Not by much, but enough where you can see a definite difference.
Is it warm in here?
No, but probably just because of the running water. It does have that kind of like heavy, humid feeling about it, but the water flowing past just seems to spray up cooler air that freshens it a little bit. Especially being like inside in an enclosed space, you've got 10 to 12 feet of height, but the fungus comes out quite considerably, so you are fairly enclosed. So it can feel kind of trapped, and overwhelmed quite easily. Straight across here, though, there is a gap. Like, there doesn't seem to be a bridge or anything. It's just a 10-foot drop into the river. 5-foot drop into the river, sorry. And a 10-foot gap.
Okay.
How's people's jumping skills?
I'm pretty good.
I mean, we'll see how well I do.
I was going to say, in this case, it's less of a case of whether you can jump it, because you should all be able to have that jumping distance. It's more of whether you do or not.
Nismo, could you if we jump across, could you burn a patch just before we go, if you can do it from there?
I think I
Yes,
could
we
manage
did
something
that.
like that.
Yeah. And I could go first.
Hang on, let me read something quickly. Okay. Nismo takes one step back and, with a couple of sort of steps forward, jumps across the chasm easily, and then immediately lands and utters an incantation and just does some quick movements, flitting something in the air, and drops a tiny ball. I say tiny. It's the size of just a small melon that just appears, erupts in flames, and is now floating right opposite where you stand, but is spreading out flame and heat enough that it's clearing the landing area quite nicely. He stops and turns to you. That should be sufficient for you to get across. Just don't bump into it.
I'm just gonna put my trident up. Nismo, why didn't you just turn into a bird and take a torch across?
Because I need that just in case of an emergency.
Okay. Well, cheers for the death spear. Tulip, you're first, ain't you?
So I thought he was just using like little cantrips as he was walking. So I thought he was going to do it from like the range there, but take it. So
I mean, there's still plenty of room for you to land in.
yeah, I mean,
You're not in any danger.
I'll jump across. I mean, obviously, if you
Make an acrobatics check for me.
acrobatics check. That's been a while. Oh, acrobatics.
Okay. So you managed to fail the 10 DC.
I've got athletics is my good thing.
As you dive over and sort of distracted a little bit by the flaming sphere, your foot makes contact with the other side, and it's just a little bit too slippy and a little bit too grimy for you to for your foot to grip onto, and you just slip down. Nismo rushes forwards, and so now you're hanging off into the water while Nismo is like grabbing hold of you. And he sort of brings himself to standing just about and starts to drag you up, so that you basically get dragged belly first onto the floor. Luckily there is no fungus here, otherwise you'd have to get a face full of it.
Okay.
Pretty gross.
Well, it's 5 foot down into the water, so I've got wet boots.
You've got wet feet, yeah.
At least I can be ready to catch someone else if they.
Make a constitution saving throw for me.
Oh, the water.
Oh my
4
God.
again.
As you're dragged up onto the side by Nismo, your body, like, he starts pulling you over, and immediately your body just, like, all of your muscles just tense up, and you're completely unable to move, and you are now stunned.
Ooh.
Nismo like kind of drags you up. It's like, my friend, that was very silly. Be more careful next time. And you're just frozen in place. The two of you across the other side see Nismo pull him up, and Tulip's body is just stiff as a board.
I want to try and jump over next so that I can.
So that you can join in.
Yeah.
All right, roll roll an acrobatics check for me.
I'm going to guide into this, by the way.
It's less about being able to make the distance and more about not slipping on the side. 11. Right, that's good. With your shorter legs, you manage to... You take a few steps, run up like Nismo did, and you feel your foot slip just a little bit as you try to release to jump over. And again, you feel your foot slip a little bit as you make it to the other side, but you collect yourself and take a step forwards, and you make it over. You are here now, basically.
Okay, awesome.
Nismo is kind of poking Tulip, just like, what's wrong with you?
Nismo, pull him over here. Something's wrong.
Very well. And he drags you across.
Drags him through the fire sphere.
He drags him around
He's on
it.
the floor.
The flaming sphere is like floating in the air, so you know.
Oh,
would
you
be-
limboed. It's
It would
fine
be
then.
underneath it, if nothing else. It would be
Tulip
fine.
is now not only stunned but also on fire.
His eyebrows are a little bit singed. Grant, that leads just you.
uh,
Oh, sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted
Well-
to say I want to just do like a medicine check on him to make while Grant's jumping across.
Okay, you roll a medicine check. Grant, what were you doing?
Before jumping, I would have been watching that all unfold, and I would shout across, how is he? He looks like stone.
A 15 with my guidance.
He is stunned, ultimately. You can see that his feet are wet. You saw his feet fall in the water, and you can see that they're coated in a kind of weird, different types of spores to what you've seen before. These are quite thick. They're kind of the size of a grain of rice. And they're just coating his boots and his trousers, I guess, or like, you know, his the bottom of his outfit. And just from like your general knowledge of infectants like this, it seems that in this case it wasn't necessarily the spores that have caused it, but the reaction the spores have had with the water.
Ugh.
So while this is a temporary effect, it seems like the spores entering the water have conspired to make something quite disturbing.
That's nasty, yeah.
But ultimately, he'll be fine eventually. Whether that's
Eventually.
a minute, an hour, a week, a day, a month.
Does the flaming spear help, like, dissuade them from being the
Yeah.
spores?
It doesn't, but once Alura realizes, she just turn, like, both her and, like, Nismo and her turn your feet to the bottom of it so that it starts to help dry your feet. An internal
I'll
Yeah,
shout
I'm
across to
gonna
Grant. He's okay for now, but we need to try and get him unparalyzed. But you're welcome to come
Okay.
across, just don't get wet.
Coming over.
No one's ready to
No,
grab
no.
you this time, mate. You go head
Jump.
first. Ian.
Okay, make an acrobatics check for me, please, Grant. Good.
Nice.
That's how we do it.
Show
That's how
off.
we do it. A double figure roll. Yes.
There's a backflip while he's doing it.
Literally. You managed to make it over so easily, like you're kind of confused how everyone else didn't. It's no problem for someone with your athletic and acrobatic prowess, basically. Just as you make it across and Tulip's feet are drying off, the stunned effect wears off, and Tulip, you suddenly just, your muscles relax. All of your muscles relax. And you are unstunned.
Well,
As
don't go swimming.
Welcome back.
the flaming sphere also starts to die down and fizzle out.
I'll pull out a torch and light it.
Okay.
And
It's
I'll offer out a hand to Tulip to help him get back up.
okay. Okay. All right. And there's again these vines here are doing the same sort of thing as the other side. So it's basically like a limbo pole. You've got to get like right down underneath it to get through. But shouldn't be too difficult. You will get across nice and easy.
Fly through. I've never. How do I turn my character again?
Control and mouse wheel. This side is the first time you see anything resembling like actual mushrooms. This is possibly where you saw some of the colour when you sent your guiding bolt through, Alura. To the point where literally down here, you can see a scorch mark against the wall where it made contact.
Nice.
Nismo sort of steps forward, has a look around. All seems well. Shall we continue?
Yes, but still, be wary about touching anything. We don't know what could infect us here.
Very true. Very true.
We've still got our masks up over our mouths, haven't we? Or the
Yes.
Yeah.
thingies? Okay, good.
As we're continuing through, can I just double check behind us to make sure that, like that creature that Malakir turned into isn't like watching us or anything?
Roll a perception check.
With guidance. Perception.
With
not performance this
guidance.
Time. 1d4. Nice.
I just saw the 2 on the D4 and I was like, oh my god.
2.
13, okay. Currently you don't see anything. You don't see anyone. You can see the light through the entrance way, covered again by the mucousy film. But other than that, seems clear.
Okay, cool.
Have we still got pass vouch? Oh, we do. For like sound and stuff. I guess we're quite lit
it
up.
should
So.
still be up.
Yeah, it lasts for an hour.
Okay, so we can carefully walk our way through, but there'll be a light walking its way through, kind of thing. I guess.
Might just be a really big firebug.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as you're all masked up, the spores that are floating through the air, kind of like fireflies here, currently don't affect you. There's still obviously like the need to walk fairly close together so that you're not too at risk of touching any fungus on the floors and stuff, but you're getting quite adept at doing that too. Nismo seems to be taking the lead fairly willingly. He's going ahead, sort of looking around and letting you forwards when... Oops, didn't mean to press that button. Like beckoning you forward, taking a few more steps and doing the same thing. As you come around this corner and under this set of sort of this section of sort of low hanging fungus, you like Nismo stops and kind of brings you all to a stop. There's a ledge to your right that is 15 feet tall, absolutely coated in fungus, obviously, as you would expect, and seems to be, it doesn't seem to have been necessarily carved with passage in mind. It just seems to have been... Are any of you proficient in nature?
No.
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 No. Okay. This doesn't seem to be a natural or a made passageway. This seems to be some kind of naturally forming passageway. So while you could possibly climb up there and get through, it would be a very close and cramped thing. You'd probably have to crawl. However, in front of you is the same sort of floating lit up spores that you saw before, but in a much denser cloud. And Nismo looks kind of wary of the cloud, but also uncertainly at the passageway to the right. Just like he's desperately trying to think of a solution, but doesn't really know what to do.
As he's thinking, I'm gonna light one of my torches and then just hold it out and try and get as close as I can before the spores start to get too bad. And I'm going to hold my torch out to them to see how much the fire disperses them, or if it even does.
You get close enough to reach your torch out without inhaling it yourself, and the flames seem to do nothing against it. They seem
Okay.
resilient.
Lovely.
Guys, we may be stuck.
Is it kind of like the same that was in the house that I got infected with?
Kind of, yes. It just seems like the heavy atmosphere of the enclosed space, and potentially just being this being one of the sources of the fungus in general. It just seems to be so much denser than there that, you know, while you recognize it and kind of potentially understand it somewhat, it would be much more potent. That's the word I'm looking for.
Right. We're probably better going around. Because even if we were like to hold our breath and run through, wouldn't it cling to our clothes?
Yes, it did for you, didn't it?
Yeah, we haven't got the water to like wash ourselves off with.
Well, then our other option is climbing, which by the looks of it is also covered in fungus.
There's no reason to believe that the fungus wouldn't respond to the flames in the same way. Ultimately. However, Nismo steps forward and looks just... Assessing it from afar, you can see that there's only 5 feet between the floor and the ceiling. So you'd have to clear as much fungus as you can by holding a torch in front of you and crawl, like, on your bellies through. Which
I mean, at this
would leave you vulnerable. And
this
you don't
point,
even know
we've
where
got,
it
like,
goes.
3. I think the 3 of us got one lit at the moment. Unless I dropped
We've got 2
one.
torches lit at the minute.
Well, I had one lit originally.
Oh, okay, yeah. All of us had one lit then.
You lit one.
I would say that yours fell into the river when you
Okay.
slipped down.
So we got 2 then. So I mean, having 2 torches out is going to be a bit more useful, I guess.
Yeah.
And if Nismo can do any like little cantripy spell or anything, if he can, it might be enough. I can help people up to start with, and then climb up, or you can help me pull up. I'm quite athletic.
Sounds like a
I'll
plan.
go first. You can push me up. I'll clear the way.
Okay. So who's going for? Are we letting Tulip up first, or is Grant going first?
Right.
But I'm going first.
You're
but
going
Tulip's
first.
giving me like a leg up.
Okay. So you, combining the 2 torches you've got lit, you start clearing as much as you can. Nismo again sends out the flaming sort of... Originally he was using essentially essentially just like what was he using? I can't remember. He was just using a kind of flame burst to clear away. But that's not going to be particularly helpful in this situation. So he's actually staying back while you're climbing up and clearing the way and assessing the spore fog. Basically volunteering to go last and keep an eye out.
Okay. Well, once I've cleared enough to actually move a bit more forward, because I'm going to be very slow at this.
It will be a very slow process, yeah.
Yeah, I could say that it's clear. Someone can get up quickly.
I'll jump up next.
Yeah, I'll probably help you up as well.
Okay.
Then if
So-
Nisma does want to come up, I'll climb.
Yeah, Tulip, you help Alura up. And then... That is your name, isn't it? Yeah. I've got the wrong
Yeah.
character in my head for the moment then. And then you climb up yourself, and the three of you make your way up. With it clear. And then Nismo sort of slowly follows you. All four of you are now literally sort of belly moving, basically. So you're going very slowly. And Alura at the back with the torch, you are having to start clearing the way again for you and Nismo, and Grant and Tulip, you're clearing the way for yourselves. But Grant's clearing the way for you and Tulip.
Yeah.
So it's basically two groups of two. As you make your way through, it's claustrophobic. Like, this is horrible. But, you know, also probably better than going through a spore cloud. Nismo keeping watch behind. A sort of unsettling, almost all fours kind of movement. Instead of crawling on his hands and on his sort of elbows, he's tips of his fingers and tips of his toes, like walking quite comfortably, almost sideways so that you can see behind him. Alura, it's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
But it seems to work, and it's easier for him, so he doesn't seem too bothered by it. You get to the corner here, and it's not impassable, but it's so overgrown that even pulling, burning the fungus away, you still have to go through some foliage. And are you crossing, Grant, or are you kind of staying put for the moment?
If it just looks like the foliage on top and that I've burnt most of the fungus that I can see away, yeah, I'm gonna brute force and just go through it.
Okay. Nothing necessarily bad happens. It just feels weird. This is the first time you've seen, like, living plants in a while. Any you've seen in the last couple of days have basically been smothered by the fungus. So to still have, like, ferns that have green leaves and are still somewhat flourishing is an unusual feeling.
Yeah, it's all weird. None of it makes sense.
Yeah, basically. But as you do make it around the corner, there is now another chasm with a 20-foot drop into the water and another 10 to 15 foot, depending on where you start, jump across.
How do we determine our jump distance?
That's a really good question, and I was hoping you wouldn't ask, because I can never...
Because I'm thinking, I think it's based on strength, and I'm thinking this time if I just aim for further in, I can't possibly slip.
With a running start, your jump distance is 10 feet horizontally, height is 3 feet off the ground, and 12 feet off the ground. But that's not true because it depends on your strength score. So what's your strength score?
Mine is +4.
So 18. All right, so in theory, you'd have 9 feet horizontally without a running start, which is what you would have here. but it would probably be even shorter because you are basically on your stomach.
Ah. So we can't really get
Oh, well,
across
we
then.
not, like, stood up yet? We
No,
still...
no, you are still like flat to the floor.
How are we going to get past this one?
There's no way to jump this part then.
It doesn't seem so, no. However, however, if I could find what I'm looking for in this great long list, oh Jesus.
Got a potential plan if we can't jump.
I hate to think who Tulip's throwing first.
That's another plan, yeah.
What's your plan first? Tell me your plan.
Well, theoretically this opens out, right, into like a 20-foot drop.
Yes.
So, I mean, surely we could kind of come out and then... This doesn't look sheer, so we could kind of like almost drop down slightly onto like the edge. Then we can stand and then stand in jump.
I mean, it's a perspective thing, so I'm not entirely sure whether this is designed to be a sheer drop or not. However, the rocks at the bottom are, you know, sort of outcropping, so you could fall down and jump from there across and climb.
Yeah, I mean, can I like climb down a little bit and just jump across?
Sure, if you wanted, it would be a strength and acrobatics to get across and then to hold on and climb up again. So it'd be like a strength and acrobatics check, and then I'll just take an average.
Okay. Is anyone else got any other ideas first? Sounds a bit risky.
Got this rope on the end of my trident, throw it across, make a very unsafe bridge.
I mean, it's something to hold on to as you jump, I guess, maybe.
I don't know what you think will happen if you miss your jump and are holding on to my trident.
Well, I figured I'd throw it and stick it into like a wall or something.
Yeah, they're not that great for using though as climbing tools.
If you throw it weakly, I suppose that's won't stick in very far, I guess.
Wow. So in my strength. Do you want to give it a throw? Find out. Actually, no. You'll probably lose it.
Wow.
Oh, charming.
The savagery on show here.
I don't really know what else we can do.
As you're kind of deliberating and not too sure about what to do, Nismo takes a deep breath, kind of holds it for a few seconds, utters something under his breath, and holds his hands out flat. And you can see like desperate concentration on his face and something possibly resembling strain. And to your left, you realize that these things here aren't walls, they appear to be tree trunks. And he starts to pull, or seems to start coaxing the roots from the tree trunk through the fungus, and they grow and they kind of mold into not a bridge but a platform. It seems to be all he can manage to, like, what he can muster. So you end up with like a kind of root platform midway across so that you could jump and jump.
Okay.
But he seems to be like having to hold it, so he's sort of still holding his breath. You can see the strain through his body. He's like proper tense, and he's starting to shake a little bit as he's holding it. It seems that the strain of holding through the fungus is actually causing some issue for him.
We better go quickly then.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So
It's
we drop down to it.
yeah, it's basically just a 5 foot kind of. It's not necessarily a jump, but you can reach out, pull yourself across, like plank across. Possibly a bit more difficult for Alura.
So if I want to make it across, do I have to do any kind of checks or anything?
An acrobatics check, please.
Okay.
Just to see if you can kind of oof out, grab yourself, pull yourself up.
Yeah.
Once you get onto the platform, easy peasy, because you've got
Okay.
all the space in the world, and then across the other side, it's a bit of a jump down or a bit of a way down, so you've got more room to maneuver. It's just that initial,
Yeah.
pull across.
Cool.
push you up onto
Add
it.
guidance too, just to make sure.
Okay, 18, nice.
Cool.
So somewhat out of desperation, you actually managed to do it quite easily. But kind of knowing that this is your only real option, sort of dig deep, pull yourself across, and once you're on the platform, you can stand up again, stretch out, and then just kind of leap down. It's 10 feet down, but in a sort of way where you're not jumping 10 feet straight down, you can platform down,
Yeah.
so you're okay.
Cool.
And then Grant, at this point, Nismo is properly straining. He's just like, please, quickly. I can't hold it any longer.
As swift as I can, I will.
Yeah, and again,
Down.
for you and Tulip, this isn't difficult at all. You just kind of have to reach out, pull yourself across, and plank. And then same for you, same getting down as Alura. You just sort of stand up, jump down. As the three of you get across, Nismo almost immediately drops the plant growth, and the strain immediately leaves, and he looks over at you. Deep breaths, and his body kind of contorts and shifts and shrinks down into actually, what does he shrink down into? Okay.
Flying squirrel.
A flying squirrel. Well, that's possible. We'll go with him.
Is Sparrow again?
This time he turns into a giant owl.
Ooh.
And
Shrunk into a giant owl.
yeah, basically. Like his body shrunk and then his arms kind of expand out and then just kind of crack and contort in a very unsettling way out to a sort of 7-foot wingspan giant owl. It's quite impressive, and he just kind of hovers over the water, staring down at you. Beyond, into the mini grove here, there's a light source being emitted from this end, but it's so bright and dazzling you can't see the source. It's like looking straight into a headlight. You can't. You know there's something there causing the light, but you just can't see it. The rest is illuminated enough that it's very bright, and instead of the fungal coverings you've been seeing, this is actually a fairly nice looking place. There's actual floor, which would have taken a moment to notice because you're so used to holding the torches to the ground and to the surroundings to burn it away that you didn't actually notice that there was no fungus to burn, like no lasagna layered fungus to burn away. It's all plants and shrubbery that have just are showing signs of fungal infections. So there are small fungi growing from the leaves, and some of them have mushroom-like protrusions and stuff, but the ground is quite soft, quite mossy, and immediately has turned quite damp. And if the situation was different, this would be actually quite a nice place. The not Malakir, the Nismo, the giant owl, flies through and into the room. Basically into the light. And you can see him causing a shadow as he flaps to keep himself off the ground. Everybody roll a wisdom saving throw for me. Okay. Grant. Not Grant.
Yeah.
We'll start with Tulip and Alura. Tulip and Alura. The light starts to draw you in. Where you, like, even if you're not directly looking at it, it's still always in your periphery. And eventually you're just drawn to, kind of like a moth to a flame. You just keep looking back at it, interested, but you just sort of shake it off and continue looking around or doing what you're doing. Grant, much like Nismo, you're much like your friends even, you are looking around, but it's always in your periphery and you just keep drawn to it, being drawn to it, and without really even thinking, you suddenly realize that you're probably about 20 foot closer than you thought you were. Nismo, the giant owl, having flown down from the ledge and into this grove, then sort of stops for a moment and then continues flying towards the light and just disappears into it. No sound, no sort of hubbaloo, just disappears. The light, the shadow that he was causing disappears, and the giant owl form does too.
Do I react, or would I just still be so enticed by the light that I wouldn't even react to the fact he's just phased through a wall?
Currently, that's what you are aiming to do too.
Oh, okay.
You are being drawn into the light. Now,
I guess I didn't make that jump, and I'm going to the light.
we're in a sort of turn-based mode, or turn-based sort of section. So we'll start with the highest wisdom roll, which was Tulip, then Alura, then Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Tulip, you've seen, or you're aware, not necessarily seen, Nismo just fly off and disappear into the light, and you're acutely aware of Grant heading in the same direction but slower.
Well, it looks like that's the way we need to go then. I think.
Think this is safe?
I don't quite know actually.
Roll a quick intelligence check for me, just to see if you can, like, if that would make sense to you, if like going to the light would make sense. Okay. Given how the light seems to be drawing you in, You're an intelligent chap. Things that try and lure you in like that are probably not friendly. Given where you are and who you've been dealing with, if there's something like that in an epicenter of some kind of expansive disease like this, that's probably not somewhere you want to be going.
Okay. Hold up, Grant. Don't go there just yet. It's a bit weird, and I'll try to pull him back.
Okay. We'll move on to Alura. What would you like to do?
I'd like to move forward and try and stop Grant from going through it as well.
Okay. How much movement do you have? You're fine. Grant,
Yes.
your companions come over, and are you like trying to physically stop him, or are you just trying to get in his way and verbally persuade him not to?
I was going to physically grab him to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
same.
we're going to do contested strength rolls. Grant, roll
Okay.
a strength check for me, and then both Tulip and Alura roll strength checks for me. Okay. So with Alura literally grabbing onto your leg and like arms around your leg, legs around your leg, just literally weighing you down, and Tulip like around your chest, Grant, there's almost no way that you're getting forwards towards the light. And they both pull you back, or at least Tulip pulls you back while Allura's holding on to about here. Everyone roll another wisdom save for me, please.
I would say as I'm being pulled back, I'd just randomly be like, but the light, it's so nice.
Oh,
I'm in now.
Grant and Tulip swap places.
I think we're all going probably.
Grant, being pulled back by your friends snaps you out of whatever sort of daze you were in. And now, while those two are just letting go of you, they start both walking towards the light. How far are you? Ooh, Tulip, you are just outside the source. And Alura, you are not far behind him. So before you can really react, Grant, as you're coming down from whatever was causing you in, like pulling you in, both Tulip and Alura start wandering forwards.
Okay.
You are next to act.
No, I'm not going to be able to grab both of them. I know that. I
So
have to make a difficult choice.
for reference, the line is somewhere in there. Like the light is sources from somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna. How far am I from it?
What?
I'm gonna sort of, in a quick pace, get to Alura, and as I go to grab her, like arm with one hand, my other hand, I'm gonna just lob my trident at the light, or where I think the light's coming from.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
100% sure.
I can't think of any way of getting both of them out of this, so yeah.
Okay. And you're doubly sure you want to throw your trident at the light?
I mean, either it's going to hit it or it's going to fall. It's still attached to the rope.
Still attached to the rope. Okay, that's good to know.
So, I'm not just going to let it go loose, God no.
So you're grabbing hold of Alura, And throwing your trident.
Yeah.
Cool. So Alura, both of you make strength checks for me, and then roll. We'll see how this goes first. Okay, so you managed to hold on to Alura quite easily, just kind of hand over shoulder to hip, just like gripped in. And with the other hand, you just throw your trident forward with the rope still attached. The trident just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes until it hits the end of the rope, disappears into the light, and you feel the rope go taut that pulls your arm forwards. And nothing. You start pulling the arm out again. And there seems to be some resistance on the other side.
Oh. Is it enough that I'm able to pull the trident back fully, or...?
You're still able to pull it back, but there seems to be something on the other
It's
side
tough.
that is resisting.
Okay. Suppose all I can really do as I'm pulling it back is just shout Tulip. And hope me shouting breaks him out of it, but I don't think it will.
What are you going to shout?
I found a flower.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check with persuasion or deception with advantage, your choice.
They're both the same, so we go with persuasion. With advantage, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I feel like that would be enough to break Tulip out.
Mhm.
Okay. Persuasion. 17. Not bad. Tulip.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that... Well, actually, no. How do you think Tulip would react to that?
I think he'd probably be a bit like, oh, here, my flower, and like look down and realise that he hasn't replaced his one yet. And I could see that being quite a priority
Mm-hmm. Okay.
above running towards some light.
So as Grant shouts out that he's found a flower for you, you look down and that thought process takes the 6 seconds of your turn and saves you from walking forwards into the light. Everyone roll a wisdom saving throw for me
So that can be good.
with advantage now.
Oh, with advantage.
Ooh,
That's my second one.
Okay. So it was 22, 19, and 20, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
The three of you resisting the urge this time. Tulip, you turn to Grant because he's said he's got a flower for you. Alura, you've got Grant's either left or right hand basically like over your shoulder and grabbed you sort of just by the hip, and he's proper constricting you. And Grant, you're still trying to pull your trident back from through the light, probably like 50 feet if that's how much rope you had.
Yeah.
And you've probably got about 20 feet back, so it's still 30 feet forwards, which is like a long way. It's up here. And then Tulip, you're the one to see it because you're the one turning round. But up on the ledge at the back here, Malakir is kind of crouched down, one hand on the floor, both knees almost up around his ears from like the unsettling body position that he seems to keep. And he's just snickering to himself. You almost went to see her. You almost met her. She'll be disappointed that you didn't make it. Soon. How do you react? Do you react?
Can we freely move a bit?
You can freely move if you wish.
I'll be with you in 1 minute. Grant, where's that flower?
Grant,
It's, yeah.
Over there? There are a few around though, right?
Well, I'm just like darting around looking, trying to find a flower. I'm like, is that one good enough? Is that one good? It's somewhere over there. I caught a glimpse of it when we first entered. I'm kind of just pointing a random direction.
Okay.
Away from the light.
We'll just go over to like try to rummage. As long as these flowers look all right.
they look,
Kind of like
compared to what you've been seeing recently, they look pristine. They look perfect.
okay. So almost, I want to be like, now you put your hand, you fit one finger up when someone's trying to talk.
Yes.
Kind of like that to Malakir while I'm just like perusing and just picking the best flower out of these. I've still got the soil in my pocket. It's good soil. I don't want to waste that.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I put the fresh one inside there.
Malakir actually seems quite happy to just sit and wait for you to be ready. He's just kind of crouching, a slight shift in his feet every now and then. That grin that sort of goes from ear to ear, just always planted over his face, eyes wide, watching you. Alura and Grant, have you turned round?
Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would have.
I was going to say, I'm assuming
eventually
Grant has also turned around. So the two of you facing Malakir or watching Tulip away from the light, there's less of a lure to it. And you're able to resist that lure enough to not need to roll saves. Malakir is just watching you. It's really unsettling. Did you finish pulling out your trident, by the way?
Oh, I'm still pulling that out as I'm looking at Malachi. Just.
Okay.
You wait. I'm gonna get you with this.
As you're pulling it out, you hear you hear behind you a kind of crash as it seems to come back through and smash against something, and then a sort of wet squelch. Are you gonna risk turning around to look, or are you gonna try and keep your eyes forward?
Oh no, I'm focused on Malachi now as I just keep pulling in the rope until I can actually pick up my trident without breaking eye contact.
Okay. Okay. Nope.
How high up is he at the moment? Was it just like not really?
About 15 feet on that platform.
Okay.
Alura,
Mm-hmm.
you hear behind you the squelch, the crash and the squelch as Grant's trident makes its way through. And then you hear shuffling. No sound, like obvious sound, but you hear shuffling. And then there is a swipe. And I'm on the wrong tab. Oops. And behind you, does 20 hit?
Yeah, it does.
You take a fist to the side that kind of winds you slightly. It doesn't really do much in the way of damage, but it's more of a surprise and a winding. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, but 6 points of poison damage. As you kind of lose your breath, and as you re-inhale, like as you get your breath back and you inhale, you just feel sick. The spores in the air that have been here the whole time don't seem to have affected you. But these ones, because they're quite thick, they can't get through the mask. But these ones are tiny. They are microscopic. You can only just make them out. And as you inhale, you just go and just take a mouthful and immediately feel the urge to vomit. Roll a Constitution saving throw to not vomit. Okay, good. You manage to hold back the urge as your stomach churns, and you feel the urge to just, regurgitate anything you've eaten and drunk that day. You hold it back. Take a breath. There is something behind you.
Okay.
Grant, you hear the impact, and you see, just out of the corner of your eye, Alura get knocked to the side by something, and then inhale a breath and sort of gag slightly. But to see what's behind you, you'd have to look.
Yeah, I think I would be so focused until I heard Alura gag, and I would turn at that moment.
Okay.
Worried she would be turning.
Stood at this point in front of you, blocking some of the light, causing a huge shadow, is a 6.5 foot tall mushroom, basically. Its features are blank. There's almost no perceptible humanoid features about it, and its arms are basically mushrooms that turn into fists, like mushroom stalks that turn into fists. Its legs are the same but flat, so that it's got a base to stand on, and its head just turns into this big bulbous thing that comes out in all different directions. The only kind of thing that gives it any kind of humanoid-ish similarity is a gaping mouth that opens out occasionally and just expels spores.
Lovely.
How are you reacting?
How close am I to it? Actually, it's 6 foot. Would that be 10 or 5?
That would be 10.
Weird angle. Okay.
Basically, anything in the surrounding, that would be 5. So you're 10.
Okay, it means I would have to throw. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Since I've wound it up, turn around and lob my trident at it.
Okay.
Try and get it
Roll
in its mouth.
roll an attack for me. 12. That is its armor class. You hit.
Oh, it's so big I couldn't miss.
Pretty much, yeah, honestly. Okay, 6. It's a good start. You can see on its sort of lower leg, on its lower left leg, there's holes where it seems your trident has already made contact. This seems to be...
cool, I recognise them.
Yeah, this seems to be the thing that was causing resistance originally.
Okay,
and
well, I'm not going to mention that to the guys that I may have pulled it in, but
you don't hit the mouth, or what would be the mouth, but you do hit it sort of mid stalk, mid main body stalk, and it just kind of reels back and sort of seems to flail around in pain. Maybe it's difficult to tell with something that's so unfamiliar. And then Lurch sort of leans forwards and seems ready. All right. So, Grant, you've just thrown your trident at the weird mushroom creature.
yep, it's embedded into him.
Alura has been attacked. Tulip is currently looking for a flower, and Malakir is giggling to himself up on this sort of ledge that he is sort of crouched on. I think at that point we'll go ahead and roll For initiative, please. And we'll see what's what. Okay. I love how Tulip is probably the most distracted, but is also the most on his toes. Tulip, it's your turn.
Okay. I would have heard the kerfuffle over there.
Yes.
Did I find a flower before this?
Roll an investigation check for me. That's a very fair question. You find something that looks very pretty. It's a kind of bluey pink, sort of similar style and shape to a sunflower, but different colors. As you lean down to pick it, it kind of just goes and just releases some small spores into the air, almost like pollen, which makes you sneeze. You sneeze, and then it just seems to be a sort of quite pretty looking flower.
Okay, I would have taken that into my pocket. Then heard, I guess, the punch and stuff and the fighting, the throwing of a trident. And I'll turn around, but I'll be very aware that I don't look at the lights. I'll be looking like at people's feet.
Okay.
Or legs at least. And I'm guessing this is the big bad thing they're fighting. So I'll probably go for like a hit. I'm not gonna go rage yet because I'm not angry.
Okay.
Target this. I'm gonna go for reckless attack, but great weapon master.
Okay. Seems fair.
So -5 to the hit, but advantage on the attack. And plus 10 damage if it hits.
Very nice. Hits easily.
Nice. So damage. So plus 10.
Oh, yeah, easily. You just swing your axe down just in one fell swoop. Just slice this thing down the middle, and it just falls to the side, like both sides just fall to the floor. As it does, it's just spores, like all sorts. The small pollen-sized microscopic ones that you don't really see. The bigger ones that you've seen previously in like fog clouds that look quite like the size of rice, all types. And all three of you, because you are basically close together, roll Constitution saving throws for me.
Okay. I wasn't raging, so I was holding my breath, but if they're microscopic ones.
Yeah, it's, kind of getting through the mask just a little bit.
Oh.
Okay, Tulip. As you swing down, your mouth opens slightly, and you're not breathing in, but as the spores emit, they get through the cloth over your mouth, and you can feel them coat your mouth, and you just start coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing. And everything. So, like, the creature's dead. We know this. The creature's dead. And suddenly your vision goes from, quite a nice place, but with nasty things happening, to you're just in a field full of all types of different plants and flowers and just vegetation of all types that, is almost a dream come true. In the kind of, in the sense that there's so many different flowers to look through and smell and pick and just generally nice place to be. Not at all dangerous.
Okay. Seems good.
So you are essentially charmed, but you're hallucinating.
Okay.
while Tulip is doing that, out of the light, you now see more of these tiny little mushroomy creatures that are just kind of scurrying out. They're very small, but they just kind of rush out, scurry around, and just start to almost surround you, but they don't quite manage it. They do surround Tulip, but it's because he's not been paying much attention. And then another one of the same creatures that Tulip's just decimated appears, steps out, similar height but different colouring to it. Whereas the last one was kind of very beige and darker colours. This one is just outright colourful. Blues, reds, purples from the two colours mixing together. And it just seems to be shimmering slightly. And now I have to add all of these to the initiative roll. Great. Why do I do this to myself? Okay. Next up is this one, who is going to attack Alura with its deadly, deadly, deadly weapon of its fist. Does 7 hit?
It does not.
Oh no. Okay, that is its turn. Next, the new large mushroomy creature appears and is going to... okay, cool. Is going to go straight for Tulip despite, while he's in his charmed state. Should have been with advantage, but never mind. I think 4 misses anyway. Yeah. So
Went up and down to pick up an imaginary flower.
Yes, and you feel it. It's real, and it's kind of got that somewhat spiky stalk to it. It's a bit weird to feel, and you put it to your nose, and it smells very sweet. Of course, it's not real, but hey, Grant.
Have I... While that's been going on, I guess I would have pulled my trident back.
Yes.
I'm gonna then throw it at the big guy that's
Okay.
just took over that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, this is...
It does miss, unfortunately.
Well, after that, and I guess whether or not it hits anything or just carries on going back through the light.
It does. It does just go straight past it into the light again.
As you could imagine me just being disappointed, but the rope's still unraveling around my arm.
Yes.
Hoping that it's just gonna stop. I turn to this guy just below me. I'm gonna make an unarmed strike.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually gonna do flurry of blows.
Okay.
Spend a key point, flurry of blows to do 2 unarmed strikes.
Just make one for now.
Alright.
That hits. 16 hits. With an 8 damage. Okay, that is exactly how many hit points it has. So you just kind of let loose with a punch or a kick or like an elbow, however. And it's, as you make contact, it's very papery. You kind of crack through the top of its head, and the head just kind of caves in like charcoal, like really thin charcoal where you touch it and it just goes straight in. And that seems to do enough damage that the creature just falls to the ground and just seems dead.
Okay. If
Yours-
it's not
you ha-
moving, then I literally turn to the one next to it.
Yep, and you've still got your second flurry of blow. Flurried blow.
Yeah.
Okay, that also hits. 5. Roll a d4 for me. Actually, no, sorry. You don't need to. This one has different...
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So, with the 5, that one has 4 hit points. Similar thing, you just
Oh.
crack down on the top of its skull, and it seems to be like where the epicenter of its... Where its brain would be. So it's kind of seeming hive mind-esque behavior seems to be coming from in and amongst that area, and whatever damage you're doing to it does seem to be fatal.
Okay, as I hit the second one and watch it just fall, I will, before my turn ends, I'll go, guys, it's a soft spot on the top of their heads. Crush it. They seem to go down pretty easily. That's my turn.
Why would I crush these plants?
Oh yeah, I don't know he's hallucinating, but oh well.
Don't know if I can even hear you.
Kind of. You're mildly aware of it. Right. It's this guy's turn. He's going to make an attack against Tulip. With advantage, because I'm going to remember this time. Oh, hey. A 12. That misses.
No.
That's its turn. This one is going to make an attack against Grant, because Grant just killed its friend. That's not supposed to be with advantage. Let me re-roll that. Oh, hey, 17 hits. Hooray.
Yeah, that does.
I did damage. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, and you take...
It's taking off 1 bludgeoning damage for some reason.
I think because it's got no strength. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage and 1 point of poison damage.
Okay, that's still 3, so that's
Still
fine.
3. You're fine. It's just in case you're resistant, but I don't think you are.
No.
This one is going to step forward and is going to attack Alura.
Mm-hmm.
Dum, 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 dum. I don't think a 3 hits.
Thankfully not.
No. Alura, it is now your turn.
So when you say these guys are small, how small are they?
Barely like 2 feet.
Right, okay. Okay, I am just going to cast my spiritual weapon next to me.
All right.
So that for the spell slot.
Ba, 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 ba.
Again, it's just a giant flaming sword for some reason.
That's just because that's what comes in under the spell. But
Yeah.
I can get rid of that, and you can have your orb thing.
Thank you.
Oops.
Oh, but that's clearly a frying pan.
It's
We
clearly a
discussed
frying
this.
pan. I know.
Of course it is.
I know.
And I'm going to use that to try and hit this mushroom to the left of it.
Okay, roll for an attack. So it's d20 plus 5.
Yep.
That misses, unfortunately.
Beautiful.
Only just misses, but does miss.
And
Ba, 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 ba.
because I used a bonus action spell, I can still use my action to make a attack with my sickle, right?
Yep.
Actually, no, I've got a mace. I want to use my mace.
Yeah, go for it.
On this one to the left of me instead of the left of the
So this one.
spiritual weapon. The one underneath the big mushroom. I can't ping it.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh my god. Never mind.
6 also misses, I'm afraid.
That'll be me.
Okie dokie. That guy's dead. This one is going to make an attack roll against Tulip while you are still charmed. with advantage because I remembered. But I don't think 10 hits, so moving swiftly on to the top of the round. Tulip, roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Good job, I'm really wise. Oh,
Oh, nice. While you're holding this imaginary flower, you just keep feeling like wafts of air around you. And like you can hear a really distant kind of grunting and something sounding unpleasant. And then the flower that you are smelling just starts to smell of mold and dust. And you're suddenly acutely aware that actually the flower you're holding is completely imaginary. It just kind of crumbles away in your hand. And the like the nice open field of flowers and everything disappears and turns back into the cave. You are no longer hallucinating.
okay. I'm gonna look around and see that there's loads of things surrounding us, and I'm gonna fear rage. That's
Alright.
not a real thing.
Fear
So I'm
rage.
going to rage. Because I'm like, and then just get angry that I'm surrounded by things. And I don't know, I guess I'll just hit the big one again. I don't know, it seemed to work well last time.
Okay.
That's the biggest, scariest thing. If that's not there anymore, then it's not a problem. I'm going to do the same thing again. Reckless, break weapon master.
Okay.
-5.
16 hits.
Right. +10, +10. Oh, it's a big one.
Yeah, big one. That's the wrong one. Hang on. Get that one out of the way. As you basically you replicate the exact same movement. Just out of like surprise and fear, you just swing your axe down and just split this thing in half. It just crumples to the floor, releasing even more spores. This time, more aware of what you're trying to resist against. You are less careless, despite your rage. And you don't inhale any of the spores.
Yeah. Rage is a bonus action, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, free attack if I kill something. But I don't have a bonus left.
I know.
Oh,
I know. It's the one downside.
Again. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be happy with myself, but obviously still seething in anger.
Mm-hmm.
And then just stand there, getting ready, looking around for more targets. Well, and finding them.
All right. This guy is going to foolishly make an attack against your spiritual weapon.
As you do.
As you do. I'm not sure what the AC of a spiritual weapon is, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 9. Does it have a stat for that?
I don't think it does.
Yeah, I think it's just different in Baldur's Gate, isn't it? Where they're killable things. I like the idea though.
Let's turn to old trusty Google.
It doesn't say anything in the spell info.
Yeah, it feels like it's something that should be there, but I guess it's not implemented in this.
Okay.
I mean, you could always use my spell save DC, I guess, but that's 13.
It's really bright. It's 12. So it still misses.
Okay.
All that to find out it still misses. And then we come back round to Grant.
Right. As seeing Tulip just took care of the big one, and it looks like Alura has got the 2 down below sorted, Grant is going to use his trident to stab the one just above him
Okay.
in the head.
That definitely hits. Twice over.
Yeah.
And 8 points of damage. Again, absolutely wipes it out. You just stab it straight through and it just
Well,
disintegrates.
this is the thing. I didn't just stab it. I shoved it into the top of its head and kind of used it as a pole vault to jump over onto its spot,
Okay.
where I'm going to spend a key point to do flurry of blows on the next one above me.
Nice. Go for
Ooh,
it.
flair.
He's adding some flavor to it. I like it. 19 hits. And 7.
It's just come up saying I can deflect missiles for some reason.
I don't know why. This
Good to
one,
know.
like, you're doing really well at finding out, like, getting exactly how much damage you need for the health. Like,
He did this last time.
this is honestly
Yeah.
quite unnerving.
Yeah, and then I will just use my second unarmed strike from flurry of blows to target the next one. So we want
Still hits, bloody hell.
I'm a beast.
And again, straight through the top of the head,
Yeah.
leaving you with just 2 remaining.
I kind of, just stand up once I watch him fall, turn around and pick up my trident, waiting for whoever's next. And then my turn.
Okay.
You get 2 punches of flare blows.
Yeah, and used 1 on each.
Oh, sorry about that. Right.
Yeah. So there's 1 he stood on
Yeah.
that he dipped the trident, then the 2 above him.
Nice.
He's absolutely slaying. Whose turn is it? That one's dead. That one's dead. That one's dead. This one's alive. He's gonna go. It's gonna go for Alura, even though it would have advantage against Tulip, but it doesn't know that. 18! Hooray!
18 hits.
Yes.
God.
You take 2 points of bludgeoning and 3 points of poison damage as another sort of a lot less like stiff blow comes into the side again. You still take a fair bit of sting from it. It is now your turn.
Okay. So first things first, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll keep it at first level for now. So 1d8 is this one plus my spellcasting ability modifier. Was that 5 or 3? I always ask.
It's your wisdom plus proficiency, so 5.
So it's 5. Nice.
There we go.
So that takes me back
12.
up to 16. Okay, and then with my bonus action, I'm going to use my spiritual weapon to attack this one to its left again.
Mm-hmm.
So 1d20 plus 5.
Easy.
Finally. And the attack is
Oh,
1d8
go away.
plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Yeah, so d8 plus 5,
1d8 plus 5.
which is helpful
Beautiful.
because oh, nah, we'll give it you. The spiritual weapon comes down. It was 7, and I was like, it'd be fine. Your spiritual weapon just slams down on the top of its head, and there's like a moment where the creature seems to just about be holding on, and as the spiritual weapon removes, like pulls back, it seems to have indented in the top of its head, and that seems to, the release of pressure seems to cause like some kind of reaction and finishes it off.
Nice. And I'll end my turn.
Okay. That guy's dead. That guy's dead. And now it's Tulip's turn.
Lovely. They seem quite squishy, these ones. I'm sort of reckless attack it, because why not? I won't do the regular big thing, I don't think. Oh, I wrote normal rather than advantage, but it looks like that hits anyway.
It still hits. I mean, feel free to roll again just to see if you get the crit. for the memes, but
That's okay.
yeah, I mean, you still absolutely smashed it. Quite literally, this one just disintegrates underneath you. Like, in terms of difficulty, this was not up there.
And then I'm going to charge towards this thing.
Towards Malakir.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Still
Okay.
angry. How far can I go? 30. Well, I'm going to charge right below him.
Yeah, you can charge, like, right underneath him if you want. Okay?
Yeah. And that's miss.
Okay. Great. Okay. Hang on, let me just do some initiative cleanup. He's so angry, that is.
Don't you like all our kills?
Well, it just makes it easier to get through, is all.
I suppose, yeah.
Grant, it's your turn.
Right, after finally seeing Tulip take out the last mushroom creature thing and watch him completely charge past me, remembering that Malachi was up there, I'm gonna need to go to that one. Move forward, because he's 30 feet. So I'm gonna move to there.
Mm-hmm.
Is enough for me, yep, to throw my trident at Malachi.
Okay, go for it.
Let me just pin him. There we go. Shit.
That misses.
So pleased with myself. I was overconfident.
You throw your trident up, and as it sort of wafts past him, he seems to just swing something down and makes contact with the rope midair, and the rope just tears.
Oh no. Well, as I see that happens, then I'm going to use a bit more movement to go to this side, and as my bonus action, use my Kenzie shot for my amazing trusty blowgun. Because it's a Kenzie shot, I get a 1d4 on it. If it hits.
Yes.
Nice.
14. Just hits.
Oh. Okay. That, and then
Hooray!
that. Oh my god, it did more than 2.
Max damage.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like running to the side. I'm just.
You just fire off the dart, and it just like impacts into the shoulder, and he continues his giggle, like he's got this maniacal giggle going on, and then there's almost like an after sting, and he just goes, "Ow, ow, ow," and just like flaps it away, and just goes falling to the floor.
I just kind of smirk and stop, waiting to see what happens next.
Okay. Alura.
Yes. Up to 20 feet. Okay, and let me just see. So 30 away from Tulip, 35 away from him, 15 away from him. Okay, so I'm gonna move to this plant over here. Oops. This one. And
Alright.
I'm going to bring my spiritual weapon with me, so I'll put it in front of me again here.
Yes.
And that's my bonus action. And as my action, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at Malakia.
Mm-hmm.
Just to double check, I can't guidance attack rolls, can I? It says
No.
ability checks.
It's
Just making sure.
yeah. I think it's ability checks.
It just says ability checks, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that that's, yeah. Cool. So, I'm going to upcast it to 2nd level as well.
Okay.
So, attack. Normal.
Very good.
Oh, dirty 20.
Nice. Definitely hits.
Perfect for once. Damage. Normal.
17. Ooh.
Yeah. And
Hasty.
radiant if it makes a difference.
Uh,
I don't think it does, but
wow. Who knows? Who knows?
who knows? And that'll be my turn.
All right. Cool. Cool. Oh, it's Malekith's turn. Nice. Still giggling, and kind of like you started really jumping from foot to foot. It looks completely insane. Excuse me, I need to move this across so I can actually read it and see what's going on. He just leaps off here and reaches out and doesn't quite touch you, but gets his finger to sort of about an inch away from you, Tulip, and casts this. Roll a Constitution saving throw for me. I know it says reaction, but ignore that. You take 3 points of necrotic damage as you just feel like him. He reaches out and doesn't quite touch you, but still on your neck, you just feel a sting, like a bee sting type thing. A bee sting type thing. And then he just bursts out into more maniacal laughter and jumps straight to Grant. Probably this side, however. Like, you realise the spiritual weapon's there.
I get a reaction from him jumping past me?
You do.
Can I use the -5 thing on every attack?
I think so. Yeah.
I think as long as you call it before you roll, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think
can't.
so.
I think I can only reckless on my turn. But although it's bright with light without being meta, I get advantage because of the guiding bolt, right?
Oh, yes.
So I don't need
It's-
to reckless anyway.
Guiding bolt is next attack roll. So,
I don't know if I can. I won't target because you're not right next to me right now.
nah, it's fair.
Okay, so I get advantage from that. I'll do the -5 then because why not? Oh, it's a crit.
Yeah.
I think it's a crit regardless, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking that's gonna be like
I mean, either way, it would be 21. It still hits, so just roll for critical damage.
it's not gonna like this.
Nice.
Okay. There's some beefy damage.
Oh, that was lucky.
Considering you rolled a 1 and a 3 as well, like, that could have
I
been
know.
Yeah.
deadly. Could have
Saw
been
the 11.
horrible. Okay. You just swing your axe and you like make beefy contact with him, and he like for a moment the laughing and the laughter just splutters away, and he just coughs as he's jumping away, and he lands down on 2 feet in one hand, panting and gasping, holding his side, and he reaches up and to you, Grant, he is this? Oh, I should have had this ready. Yes. He just reaches out and what save is this? Is this a save? Come on, spell. Hello. Oh no. I've broken the world. There we go. Just one, please. Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh God, what is this? I was like, okay, and saw how long the text was.
I know it's a slightly different version of this. He reaches out and just touches your chest, and suddenly vines and sort of the fungal-esque roots that you've been seeing for the last few days just grow out of the ground, wrapping themselves around your legs and then around your waist and your chest, and start constricting. You are restrained. Restrained? Yes.
Oh,
Um.
I put it on as you put it on, so it took it off.
Oh,
No.
sorry. So like basically you're just completely wrapped up in just these vines, and then he just leaps away towards the light, but annoyingly doesn't have enough movement. So he is actually stuck there. I'm very annoyed by this.
Almost perfect.
Whoever designed this map did not have me in mind when they thought of this. Tulip.
I can move 30. I'm going to move 30 towards him,
Okay.
seething with rage. Happy that I hit him really hard, but don't know if I would be happy. Just I want it dead.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm going to do a reckless -5 on him again. Hope for the best. Give me a crit. Oh, I won't even hit him. 9.
9 misses, unfortunately.
No.
Ironically, if you hadn't Great Weapon Mastered, you'd have hit.
Yeah, I had to go for it though.
You
He's
did.
angry. He wants to hit him hard. I don't know. He might have loads of health left. He might have like none. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that's all I can really do. Yeah, that's all I can do.
Okay. Okie dokie. Grant, it's your turn. You are restrained.
What do I have to roll to try and break out of this?
Could you break out of it? Roll a strength saving throw for me. No, it's just a strength check.
Okay.
With disadvantage, I believe.
Normal or okay.
Any bonus to speed, attack rolls.
Wow.
You're just so wrapped up tight.
Do it.
Like, your arms are free. It's only around your legs, like individual legs and your chest. But you have no, like, you're unable to move. So your arms can only move where they can while your body is restrained. So it's impossible to kind of, or it seems impossible at the moment to get a good grip to pull them apart. So for the moment, you are stuck in place.
You say I can move my arms though.
Just about, yes.
Is there enough movement for me to use my blowgun?
I'm going to say no because you're facing the wrong way.
Okay, that's fine. Then I guess end of my turn I make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes. With a disadvantage again.
Okay.
14.
That's annoying.
That is annoying because that's
annoying.
exactly what you rolled last time. you
I
are
know,
you are
and the
still
fact the
stuck.
other one- Well, that's my turn.
You
I'm just there, angrily wiggling.
yes, like trying to get free. You try strength, doesn't work. You try wriggling, but you're just so gripped in that you just can't find anywhere to leverage out. Oh no, sorry, Alura.
I'm going to try and guiding bolt on him again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not upcasting it this time because I don't have the spell slot. So normal
That hits.
18.
Hooray!
and normal.
17.
Nice.
Hooray!
Is that the same as last time as well?
Yeah, the level 2 one.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
Cool.
You make contact with him again, and you just like it impacts, and he staggers away, still holding his side from where Tulip's axe ground into him, and this time it sort of sends him off balance slightly, and he's kind of at this point very shakily holding the floor and trying to keep steady on his feet, but he's still standing.
Okay, let's... Yeah, I'm going to move my guiding bolt next to him, and I'm going to try and attack him as well. So
Spiritual weapon.
Spiritual weapon. My bad.
It's all good.
So a 1d20 plus 5. 14.
Hits.
Nice. And a 1d8 plus 5.
6.
Again.
Great.
So yeah.
What no, I'm not trying to cast a spell. Leave me alone. Your spiritual weapon whacks into him again in the same sort of area that your guiding bolt did. It should have been with advantage because of guiding bolt.
Oh yeah, I forgot, but it hit anyway, didn't it? So
Yeah.
it's fine.
So that uses up the advantage for guiding bolt.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fine.
And it hits into the same side. He's really starting to hold on, like really starting to labor on his right side, but is still going.
Damn, I was hoping that would just finish him off, but never mind. And with that, I'm just gonna run over next to Grant, and that is my turn.
All right. It is now Malakir's turn. And... Okay. You can see, like, you can see that he's really struggling. He's definitely on his last legs. He's holding on for dear life, but you can see that he's also in the process of trying to go for the light. And your desperate attempts with guiding bolt and your spiritual weapon and Tulip trying to come in at the last minute and absolutely smash him into oblivion haven't seemed to work because he is still going. He pulls out this leaf from inside his kind of like fungus coated overcoat, essentially. Seems to be all he's wearing, like his overcloth, and just crunches it into his left hand and just throws it into the air. Seems to inhale it and let out some kind of word that none of you understand, and his whole body just seems to dematerialize and turn into a mist, and he turns into just a gas in the air and just floats off, escaping with literally almost no hit points left.
Surely Tulip has enough lung capacity to breathe him back inwards.
Not in his rage,
Denied.
no. He doesn't have that kind of thought capacity, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, he's enraged. Damn it, he's not thinking.
But the combat comes to an end. There are all sorts of creatures lay strewn on the floor. The light still shines onto the grove that you're stood in. I've assumed throughout this whole point that you're doing the same thing as Tulip, where you're kind of looking down, trying to make sure that you're not looking directly into it.
Yeah.
Giving you the benefit of the doubt on that one, because I kind of forgot to.
Mine's been less about looking down and more focusing on the person I'm attacking so solidly that I'm blocking out everything like surrounding. So I'm tunnel visioning basically on whatever I'm fighting.
Okay. Nismo's gone. Malakir escaped. You're now alone in the grove. That seems to be at least the epicenter of this part of the fungal spread.
You want to see if I can break out of my vines again?
Alura will help him.
All right. You can
So-
make a strength check with advantage.
Nice. So glad.
As you you find a little as excuse me, as Malakir disappears off through the light, you immediately feel the ropes get a bit looser, which allows you to start wriggling and get your fingers in between some of them ropes, vines, whatever. And you manage to prise them apart just enough that Alura can get her hand in and start just tearing them away. Sickle in hand, just slicing, and you become free. You are no longer restrained.
Woohoo!
Tulip, your rage ends.
Yeah.
Confusion, usual feeling, unsure what's happened.
I can see a lot of dead plant things around, so probably for the best. How do I remove my rage, or do you have to do it?
If you go into your character sheet, do you have a button at the top that says DAE with a spanner next to it?
Alright, I've done it. No, alright, maybe, but if I go to effects, I can...
Oh yeah, you've also
remove
got
that.
your thingy back. Your toolbar with all the things in it.
Oh.
Because they updated it, so it's working now.
Oh.
I've been looking at that all stream but not using it. I can't believe I just only noticed. There's
Yeah,
that.
I know. I was going to see if you noticed, but clearly.
No, I have been looking at it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I guess I got so used to not using it. Wow.
So yeah, the situation, Tulip, you saw the creatures come through, or at least saw the one come through before your rage took over, and now you just see more strewn out on the floor, like in various states of crumpled and destroyed.
Okay. I guess I'll just look back to the group.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd Nismo go?
I think he's gone.
Gone where?
He jumped into the light, and from how he looked, you did some hefty blows to him. He was looking badly
I was
damaged.
like Nismo, the druid.
Oh. Oh, him too.
Yeah.
You don't know who I'm on about. You had memory loss.
I didn't hit him. Maybe I did. I killed Nesmo.
No.
No. The owl flew in. We nearly got dragged in. And then we got attacked by what looked to be giant mushrooms.
Okay, we killed him.
Yes, we managed to kill all the ones that come through. And then we tried to take down Malachi because he was also here watching us.
And we didn't kill him.
Nah. He
We got very close. I
just
think.
got away. He did this weird chant and randomly turned into dust.
Oh,
I've never
maybe he
seen
is
it
dead
before.
then. Might be dead then. Maybe that's how he dies.
No, I don't think he would have chose that way out. I feel like it was a spell for him to escape.
So, do we follow through there?
Oh, no. He said the light was to meet her, assuming it's the one he's serving. So, let's avoid the light for now. Until we either have more help or are a little bit stronger, because... Yeah.
So, we were going to go to the tree, but then Nismo said to come here and fight Malakir, but now Malakir is not here anymore. So we go to the tree?
Probably
Honestly?
best. Unless
Yes.
there's something else around here.
Maybe we have a look to see if there's any last clue or info we can get from this area, and then do what we were originally going to do and head to the tree.
Okay, and to be clear, don't go into the light thing.
Don't look at the light
No.
either.
Oh,
It's all bad. All bad.
okay.
Just look at the floor mostly.
Okay, let's look around for things then while looking at the floor.
All right.
And then I'm just gonna immediately, instead of looking for things, go and try and find my trident over here.
Okay.
I'll look around like up here and stuff.
You climb up the ledge to get to where your trident was, and you can see it's sort of down in this area here, just with the rope severed, basically.
Yeah, I'll untie the rope and just pick up my trident. It
Okay.
was a worthy attempt of having a grapple weapon, but I'll have to improve it at some point.
I mean, it helped in that you didn't lose it through the light,
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
so there's that benefit.
Yeah, I'll have a little bit of look around once I've picked up my trident up here, but I'm not going to spend too much time.
Okay. In that case, everybody roll investigation checks for me.
Oh, I can be up here now. Wait. Can I?
Yeah.
I'm going to guidance myself as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, some good rolls.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm so focused on my trident.
All right. Oh my god, just spell correctly. There we go. Right, we'll start with you. Actually, no, we'll start with Tulip. We'll go lowest to highest. Tulip. You find a lot of different plant life in here. A lot of shrubbery, which you'd already kind of noticed and gathered. A lot of the similar sort of plants that you took as to plant in your pocket.
Mhm.
Don't get distracted me. Sorry. You find a lot of similar plants that you found that you put in your pocket. That are all sorts of different colours, not just the sort of pinky blue that you found for yours. There are some that are just pure yellow, like a sunflower. Some that are more green, but not the kind of shrubbery green, a lot lighter and sort of a bit more fluorescent almost. Some that are just pure blinding red, and varying colours in between. Then there are sort of things that you wouldn't expect to find necessarily. Things, for example, like bones. There are bones of creatures you can't quite make out, just because of the conglomeration of skeletal bits. It's uncertain whether they're humanoid or animal, especially to your less than knowledgeable eye. Yeah.
So nothing fancy then.
Nothing that you can see, no. Alura. In the same sort of vein as Tulip, you find the similar sort of plants. You also find in this massive shrubbery that you're stood in, a lot more bones, some that are potentially years to decades old, some that are more recent that still have chunks of flesh kind of draping off them because of because just rotted away, basically. All varying between humanoid and animal. And you also find okay, I'm unsure how to word this. You don't find it. You kind of figure it out over sort of after a prolonged period. With your kind of background in religious things. You get a familiar feeling from this light that you're kind of exposed to, where previously when you've prayed to your god, to your deity, you have felt kind of encompassed in a similar sort of thing. When you've really gained a connection, this sort of targeting, if you like, by divine light does seem to usually be quite prominent in it. This has a similar feeling, except not divine, but devilish, demonish, demonic. You can't quite make out. This isn't your forte, but you're definitely getting a kind of definitely evil, potentially abyssal, which to your knowledge would probably mean demonic kind of feeling.
Fantastic.
Grant. Sorry.
I just want to shout that out to the other two while they're looking around and be like, this feels weird.
That's fine. Grant. As Alura is pointing that out to you, you are sort of investigating up on this ledge here, and carved into this tree trunk, you can't see my mouse move, I don't think, but like carved, just do as I say, into this tree trunk here is a almost like it's basically been carved into a slab almost. And what languages can you read?
Not many. Let me just check. Common, Orc, and Primedural? Earth, Genasi, basically.
Alright. Okay. You can't read what it says. It's in a language you don't understand. But you get the gist just by looking at it that it's evil. There's a definite evil feeling from it. And as Alura points out a sort of demonic feel to the light, that same sort of vibe comes off the tree, comes off this slab with the writing on it. At the bottom, there's a sort of 6-inch tall carving of a feminine featured creature. That's really hard to say. A feminine featured creature that looks not too dissimilar to the creatures you just fought. That sort of at her feet has creatures that look eerily similar to the ones you just fought, and also more generally humanoid looking creatures like you've been sort of facing against the infected. Does that sentence make sense? I think it does.
Yeah.
And they all seem to be either bowing, prostrating, that sort of thing, at her feet, and she seems to just be lording over them. But like if you're going by scale, she's very tall, very imposing, and
It looks like a mushroom.
she looks not just like a mushroom. She looks like she is fungus, or I'll show you. Hang on, give me a second.
Ooh, okay.
Because I have no way of describing this. My brain
So I
isn't
think it's
engaging.
one of them fungus characters, but in a female model.
Hang on. Nearly there. Please hold. Uh-oh.
I'm really looking at this image.
No, I'm trying to find where it went. Do you ever like download an image of Google and then it just saves in a random folder?
Oh, you should go on your you should just try and like download the image and then go downloads and latest. That's normally how I do it.
Let's do it this way.
But yeah, as I'm looking at this, I will also, after hearing Alura say that she feels uneasy and being like, guys, there's a language I do not recognize, but it's definitely giving me uneasy vibes, and it looks like a image of the... Do we know she's a queen? Did Malachi ever tell us it was a queen? Or did he
Yeah,
ever
I
say
think
it
it's
was
been
just
mentioned to you.
Okay. I'll say then, it looks like this is an image depicting of what the queen is and her followers. So, if you guys want to come and have a look, if anyone can read this language, I just know it's bad.
I can read Common, Orcish, and Gnomish.
You cannot read this.
Not.
I only have Common, Halfling, Dwarvish, and Gnomish.
Alright, hang on. Let me then get rid of... Go away. Window, please. There we go. Alright.
Just imagine us all now with like ciphers out trying to dissolve a new language. So is this
no, show his image. Right, that should just pop up. There we go.
Ooh.
Something like that. And by something like that, I mean that.
I was not expecting that. Is it weird that I kind of just want to take a bite of the round thing on her head? See if it crunches.
Possibly.
That is
it's a poppadom.
no, I think that's pretty weird. It's pretty weird.
Where my mind immediately went for some reason.
Alura,
Yes.
combined with the natural 20 and your 20, you have a fair idea who this could be.
Okay.
You've there we go. You have a fair idea who this could be. You have limited experience with the demon lords of the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually spoken of in sort of hushed tones. You know, not really. It's not really the thing to do to talk about them. However, there are books about them. It is, for the higher acolytes and higher scholars, it is kind of recommended that you at least have a vague idea. This one is a lesser demon, and lesser in the terms of she isn't... she still is a demon lord or demon lady, but she is not at the higher echelon. She's kind of middling. This could be Zugutboy. Now,
How do you spell that?
I was going to say, I'll spell that for you, because it's not how you expect. There we go.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. She... Oh, the demon queen of fungus, my apologies. She is. She goes by many names, but that's generally how she's referred to. She's known to have a lair somewhere in the abyss that is just overgrown with fungus, mushrooms, or all types of fungi that kind of grow individually to hundreds of feet tall and then have interconnecting bridges, and it's basically just like a hive. And she is known to have insatiable hunger to devour and also to destroy. Generally, not known to be particularly bothered to get involved in things herself. She is known to let minions and subordinates, do all the heavy lifting and hard work. It's not been it's been a long time since anything has been heard of her. She's made incursions previously, or at least she's let people let creatures make incursions for her previously, but it's been many centuries since. And if she's now decided, or if there is a chance that she is now making a move for something, then something in the abyss has changed to allow this to happen. Or that's where your mind would go, not necessarily the truth.
Okay.
It's difficult to know and understand the mind of a demon queen. But that's what
and I'll be relaying all of this back to the other two.
Yeah.
Kind of like thinking out loud.
Stunned silence.
I'm just trying to think.
Knowing, or sort of this being the conclusion you've come to, and kind of putting 3 and 2 together to make 5. This light being emitted and things disappearing into it could possibly be either a portal to, or a portal to the abyss and to Zagutmoy's lair, or could also be like Malakir's actual like base. And the 3 of you would be able to decipher that Malakir doesn't seem... If the 3 of you were able to almost defeat him so easily and so quickly, he doesn't seem strong enough to actually be someone that Zagutmoy, the Demon Queen, would actually take any interest in. It's almost like he's trying to progress his station by doing her work for her. Does that make sense? Like, he's sort of taking the initiative.
Yeah.
She might not be involved.
He wants
at
to
all,
get
really.
noticed.
He wants to be noticed, exactly. Like,
He's a massive simp.
Yeah, he's either like doing this work kind of off his own back to progress her sort of agenda, or he is the underling of an underling of an underling, you know, something like that.
So he wouldn't really probably be going through there if it was the abyss to where she is, because she'd be like, who are you, what are you doing, you failed me almost.
Get out of my house.
Yeah.
As we're all kind of discussing like this and bouncing ideas off of what it could be, I look at myself and feel I'm pretty good. How are you, Tulip? How are you, Alura?
I'm actually not dead yet.
Yeah, he did some little thing. Well, I don't know. I've been a bit hurt. But
Well, he was pretty weak. We probably could just rush through and catch him off guard if he doesn't think we're going to follow him.
but if you don't think that's where she like is, and that could be because this is supposed to be his like base, but I didn't see any base like stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, maybe it was an old site of hers, which is why the carvings are here, and he was just using it as a pre-base before his actual base.
Yeah. So he's through there, almost dead. There might be some more things to fight, but
I'm willing to go in and try and finish him off to end whatever little scheme he's trying, if you guys are willing to accompany me.
yeah, I mean, I don't really fancy jumping over the water again.
I'm willing to try. I just don't have many spells left. So I might be a little bit out of action.
I'm pretty healthy at the moment.
I've still got my mace.
Okay.
I mean, before
Well-
he like gets stronger again, maybe.
Exactly.
And if so, we know this side is technically safe from enemies. I'm gonna put my trident to that and say we could probably just take a rest on the other side, knowing we're not gonna get attacked from this side.
Yeah, if we had to.
But that's an extreme case.
Mhm.
I feel like we've got this.
Just, I don't know if like if we go through, do we just not look at the light still and just walk through, or do we want to look at the light now?
It's whether or not you're attracted to it in the sense that it's luring you in, or just, I guess, just push through because you know you can get through. I honestly have no idea how the light works.
Okay, well I guess we look down then, and then Nismo's there. So if it's not like a portal to the abyss, then it'll probably be he might be
Oh,
okay
yeah.
still.
What if we
I
get
forgot
there and
Nismo was
Nismo's just
there.
killed Malakir without us?
Then,
Well, IBN stole the loot. Bit selfish.
that's fine. I mean, are we doing this then?
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Looking down at the floor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to be like dazed, so I'll be kind of like looking away from the light as well.
I'm not looking fully at the floor, but I am like so close to Tulip's back that not much of me is seeing much.
How long does my spiritual weapon last? 1 minute. Okay, that's gone.
Yeah, your spiritual weapon's gone.
That's fine.
All right. The three of you step through into the light. And as you do, you're immediately bombarded by a sense of calm. Like, the surroundings are still. There's no noise that you can hear. There's no breeze. There's no real sound at all. It's almost like every sound is muted. There's a lot of light. All the trees around you seem to be bioluminescent, letting off any light they can. There are birds flying around this sort of small grove that you're in that are also bioluminescent. Ahead of you, there is just what you imagine the Demon Queen of Fungus's lair would look like in the abyss, but so much smaller. They're probably 10 feet tall. They're all interconnected, but also bioluminescent. Everything is emitting light. You can see a small, very small trail of blood. That's the wrong button. Kind of like sort of zigzagging off in this direction. But you can't see anybody. There's no sign of life aside from the sort of flying birds. And like sort of underneath your feet, and there is what can only be described as lily pads that are pink and purple, and they're just kind of floating just above the air, just above the ground in the air. Behind you, as you've stepped out of the light, is the same ground you stood on, which seems to be quite spongy, quite literally like a sponge. So there's kind of, as you look deeper, look closer at it, you can see sort of grass strands, but also holes of sort of 2 or 3 centimeters diameter. Nothing huge. Behind you is the same surface that just kind of goes off into the distance and seems to become slightly ethereal. Almost like anywhere beyond 20 feet from where you're stood now behind you, it just doesn't exist. And if you look around the grove, you can see the same ring of purpley pink lily pads floating that seem to denote an area of operation, I guess.
I'll probably wait to see what everyone else does, because I'm
It's
unsure of
actually
myself.
kind of pretty.
It is. It's unnervingly pretty.
I'm not going to step forward, but I'm going to take a leap forward to see if I jump normally or kind of like glide. So I don't know how far I would technically go, but somewhere like that.
Okay. You jump forward at a normal speed, but
Okay.
the ground is so spongy and springy that as you release your knees and push forwards, you do dive further forward than you would expect. It's not necessarily a difference in gravity, but more surface
Yeah.
that gives you that kind of distance.
As I land and kind of like push down a bit on my feet, then I'm going to just turn to the guys and go, the ground, it's squishy seemingly everywhere.
Alura's just going to walk forward to kind of like match him.
All right. You step forward and join him. Walking is difficult, just because the ground is so springy that your feet do lift further than you think, and you do kind of literally have a spring in your step almost. So it's quite unusual to get used to. A few steps you kind of pick up the rhythm, but to begin with you do kind of fling yourself further forward than you expect, and then as you land you lose your balance a little bit, but overall it's fine. We're going to end the
It's
session
just
there
nice
for
to
today.
see a floor without fungus on it.
Yes. We're going to end the session there for today. We're going to return next
Okay.
week for the next chapter of whatever it is you're doing. And wherever you are.
Clearly the spongy queen.
SpongeBob.
Good job, guys. You didn't die.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Um,
Oh, the bad guy nearly did, though. That was unexpected, wasn't it?
Congratulations on your continued survival.
You want to know something really funny?
What's that?
So, as Malachi was about to escape, I was thinking to myself, should I try and cast silence on where he is and see if it makes the portal disappear or whatever the light is? But I didn't have any spell slots left.
That's a shame. Oh
That
no.
tone sounds to me like that would have worked and would have ruined a lot of stuff.
No, I
Yeah.
just hate the silence spell. I hate it with a burning passion.
I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, I don't think it'll work, but just on the off chance that maybe it's like you know, for whatever reason stops the portal, the light from whatever from working, I thought I might give it a go, but I thought instead, well, obviously I didn't have the spell slot, so instead I had to do my guiding bolt again.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It would have been funny.
Oh, I'm so upset that the silence didn't work. Oh no. But no, that was a good session. I enjoyed it.
That was a really good session.
And now,
It was.
next week, you've got to work out where the bloody hell you are
Yeah.
and what the bloody hell you're dealing with. But you found out some stuff, so that's exciting.
Very exciting.
Amazing. Right. Let me quickly see if I can find anyone to raid, because we didn't raid anyone last week. And then it's time to jump back onto Baldur's Gate, I think.
Is it bad that when we saw this area, I was like, guys, look, we've managed to get to the Underdark.
I was thinking, oh, myconoids. Ooh.
Yeah, we've angered that clan.
Oh no. Well, I mean,
There's going to be so much of that over the next couple of weeks in anyone's game, honestly.
to be fair, Baldur's Gate did remind me that myconoids actually exist. So that helped. Right. We're going to go raid these guys because they're quite cool. And
Yay.
we'll go and say hello. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it. We will see you again next week for episode 6 of Grip of the Fungal Queen.
Yay.
And we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I look forward to it. I will see you all then. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Let's press the raid button. Nice. Goodbye.